Hello, Renuka. How are you doing?
Hi. Hi. How are
What evil
you?
plans does Professor Eric have for us now?
He's saying, Mom, today we'll continue with the theme of the soul plan. I want to continue. And if you remember, last time we spoke about the theme of the soul plans, and these were two themes which he shortlisted. One was the situational soul plan, and the other was the karmic soul plan.
Okay.
And he's saying, Mom, today's lecture will be a sort of a revision of all the concepts together because understanding each concept separately is a different thing than bringing them all together to explain them in coordination with each other is a different thing. So
Okay.
he's saying today I'm going to talk more about the soul plans and also about the third purpose. So last lecture he had given us the purpose of this lifetime, which were learning and experiencing, and he said that the
Right.
purpose is threefold, and I kept the third option blank because I wanted to explain the learning and experiencing properly in detail and then go on to the third one. So you
Okay.
say situational soul plan, I explained that there will be difficulties where major aspects of your life, the situation aspects are concerned. It can be health, it will be money, it will be the characteristics, your physical body, how perfect it is, your beauty, your wisdom, your intellect. You think these are the major situations, Mom, which really have an impact on the quality of her life. And if these major aspects are affected or influenced in whatever way, definitely we have chosen it because we had to learn through it. So he's saying situational theme plan will always involve learning major lessons through difficulties in major situational aspects of your life.
Right.
And he's saying I have received a lot of queries, to understand because they're confused what is the theme. He's saying I'm going to dive in great detail in each of the lessons, in each of the major situations which are influenced or affected, and he'll be giving a list of lessons, the major lessons that we as a soul plan to learn from those difficulties which we are choosing. He's saying, so just be patient. I'm going to go deeper into all of these aspects so that you understand it completely. But because it's important that you assimilate whatever information is coming slowly so that your minds are able to process it in order to believe it, it's important I go stage by stage. So you say no need
Okay.
to get confused. I will dive deeper, and if you're confused about what lessons you chose, I'll be explaining the major lessons through major situations.
Okay.
And where then he comes to the karmic soul plan. He's saying, Mom, why am I calling it karmic? It is karmic because it is relationships.
Yeah.
Karma can be only with souls, Mom. We
Okay.
reincarnate,
Oh,
and he's saying, Mom, karma is help, and you receive and give help only with other souls, not with
sure.
situations, right?
Yes.
So karma is always involved where there is a relationship between two souls.
Yeah.
So he's saying karma is a contract. So when I say karmic soul plan, it basically means that you have chosen major relationships. Now he's saying, Mom, major relationships, not the
Right.
secondary
Not with the
relationships.
mailman.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, exactly. You just say one sentence and the meaning is clear. You should be the one explaining all of this.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I love your sense of humor. Like you
Oh, thanks.
just say one sentence, it's clear. He's saying, why, Mom, I'm saying major relationships? Because major karmic relationships are the ones you will spend most time with. If you
Yeah.
don't spend most time with relationships, how will they teach you? How will they make
Of
you feel?
course.
How
Yeah.
will they make you experience? So that's why karma is mostly involved in major relationships.
Yeah.
In secondary relationships, yes, there is karma, but it's very less, or let's say it's too less intense. The lessons are not so difficult because these secondary relationships come for a very short period of time,
Yeah.
teach you a smaller lesson, and they just go away. You choose major relationships because you have promised and decided with them to exchange major lessons for both your souls. He's
Okay.
saying He's saying that's why if and when you have issues in your major karmic relationships, he's saying let's clarify one thing first. Every relationship is a karmic relationship.
Yes.
There is no, you will not choose a relationship simply because it will have no use if there is no karma involved.
Right.
And again, he's saying again at the cost of repeating myself, karma is help given and received.
Right.
So if you're here, you will need help, you will need to help others. Otherwise, why would you relate, mom? There's no
Oh,
point relating.
right.
You you have all the time upstairs in the spirit world to have friendships and love and companionships, but here it's serious business, mom. Here we are here to learn and experience. We can't waste time. This body will not hold us, will not sustain forever.
Yeah.
So every relationship we choose has a spiritual contract, has a karma involved, where we have promised each other that we will learn and teach. And that learning and teaching is the help, and that is what we call karma. Hence, all relationships are karmic relationships.
Right.
That's why the soul plan, where you have not chosen many difficult situations, but you have chosen spiritual contracts which are going to teach you major lessons, it
Right.
becomes a karmic soul plan. So he's saying you will see, mom, just like your soul plan, you will see issues in almost all your major karmic relationships.
True.
And you will learn from them and you will also teach them. So
Okay.
he's saying, what are the major karmic relationships? He's saying,
Yeah.
first major karmic relationship is of the parent. Like if I'm a soul and I'm born, my first major karmic relationship will be with my parent.
Yeah.
The second major karmic relationship will be with the siblings.
Yes.
The third major karmic relationship he's saying will be your best friends,
Okay.
because you spend a lot of time with your best friends, not the ordinary secondary relationships or secondary friendships, but the
Yes.
ones who really touch your soul, who really influence you emotionally, and with whom you spend a lot of time. He's saying, mom, if you want to understand how karmic the relationship is, see, look at the aspect where how much time your soul chose to spend in that particular relationship.
Right. I know
Because your
everybody out there is thinking about, wow, my best friend Susan Barnes did this to me and blah blah blah. Yeah, I can in
Yeah,
grade school, yeah, I can almost hear them thinking. All right, go ahead.
yeah, that's true. So he's saying, I'm that's why I included best friends, because I don't want them to get confused. Yes, all blood relationships have to be major karmic relationships, because blood relationships can't be broken, mom. You know, they are
Uh,
there, they will
that's
always be
right.
there. And you chose them to be in the blood relationships so that you don't escape that spiritual contract. Because
Oh,
if they are not in your blood ties, you will easily, you know, disconnect from them, run away from the relationship,
right.
detach yourself. But blood ties are something you are tied to, and these are the contracts where major lessons are involved, and that's why your soul does not give itself the freedom to break that relationship and go away.
So those are the most important: the parent child, and the siblings, and then the
The
others
best
that are
friends.
not are the best friends and the
Yes,
romantic relationship partnerships,
yes.
etc. Okay,
Marriage, he's saying
marriage.
romantic relationships, marriage, then you having children of your own, then that becomes blood ties
Oh
again, the
yeah,
whole
right,
cycle.
right.
The second cycle starts where you are the parent, and again it's a blood tie, and again it's a major karmic relationship because you spend so much time with your children. And of course then comes the children's spouses.
Yeah.
That's also a major karmic relationship.
But that's
He's saying,
that's considered blood relationship in a way, right? Because you can't get away from those in-laws from this,
yeah,
right?
because your blood ties are connected with them so strongly, you can't really get away from them. So he's saying, but mom, it really what matters is, no matter what the major karmic relationship, what matters is how much time your soul ends up spending in each of these relationships, because it's
Right,
very much possible that your child might go away at a younger age to overseas to study, or he gets married, or he goes to another country, and
right,
yet you're
right.
not spending time.
Right.
So these are the relationships where you chose to give them an entry to this world, but you don't have so much of karma, and you're just balancing something they did for you in the previous
I
lifetimes.
got you. Okay. Well, what about,
So
wait, two questions. What about coworkers? If you're in a job for a long time, and is that's not a blood
yes,
relationship, obviously, but it is a
yes,
karmic
it is
relationship.
majorly karmic only if the period of employment is longer, like it's
What
more
about
than
animals?
8 to 10 years.
Yeah. What about pets? Do we have any karmic
Pets
relation?
are pets, they come to give you warm. Trust me, as much as we think that we might love them and we might take care of them and we are doing so much for them, but trust me, they come to give us and to teach us more than
Oh
what
God,
we can
yes.
do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they are just relationships which you choose to heal you. Sometimes you just hold your pet and you feel healed, you feel
Yeah.
loved. So
Yeah.
you think it's more about receiving and making your journey easier. And yes, you are also giving them a birth, a lifetime where they are able to work on their consciousness in a comfortable way,
Okay.
as compared to the strays, who are forced
Oh
to
yeah. Yeah.
lead a life of a stray and go through difficulties and yet work on their consciousness. So you
Okay.
think it's more about that. But yes, mom, you are so right. The employers and the employees both are majorly karmic if you end up spending longer times, because they become a part of your life. You spend so much time.
Yeah.
Even the house helpers, the house helpers who come to you, they spend so many beautiful years of their life, important years of their life with you, and you all share so much. So that is also a karmic relationship. Hence he said that that's why I gave you that one hint, that how much time your soul has chosen to spend in a particular relationship, that will determine the amount of karma. Now
Yeah.
you say, what do I mean by the amount of karma? It only means the lessons that your souls chose to exchange between each other, how difficult those lessons are for you and for that soul.
Yeah.
So, more difficult lessons, more intense karma, more intense will be the experience, more intense will be the relationship and the emotions involved. Because saying, Mom, if you don't feel, how will you learn?
Are there any relationships that we have that are not necessarily karmic, but just supportive? Just like you're going to go through a lot of rough stuff with other karmic relationships, and you just need somebody in your life to ground and comfort you, but not learn or exchange any karmic debt with.
It is, Mom, but it is very rare because invariably the relationships of this modern world, you still tend to fuck them up. He's saying, even if you've
Uh,
chosen to support each other so many
right.
times. So and invariably karma is built. So many times a soul is not choosing relationships where there is no karma and just to support them, because if they do, they invariably end up building new karma.
Okay.
They
All right.
invariably. So he's saying that yes, we do choose such relationships, but mom, you'll see these relationships won't be with you for longer. They'll come for those short amount of time where you really need them,
Yeah.
and then they'll give you that love and support, and then they'll disappear from your life just for the reason that you don't build more karma with them.
Okay. All right.
So it's
So, I found out today, Eric said, because I've worked on the intent scripts for the scalar work so much, that now the success rate is 97%. And those that are the 3% are the people with, they're usually just two things: completely irrevocable contracts that they have not honored, and also the free will. Like if their belief that they're not worthy of that energy work succeeding, or they just don't believe it's going to work, if that is stronger than the intent script, um thought creates reality. Is their thought create reality? It's stronger than. But anyway, back to the part of those are the only two things. So the irrevocable contracts, is there a way people can find out? Well, Eric says I have an irrevocable contract because I ask a yes or no question through Renuka. So can I find out what that contract is so I can work on it? Is that possible? So that you can then revoke it?
he's saying yes, mom. It's very much possible. Really depends on what level of consciousness that person is, and trust me, mom. It can't be only a conscious decision. It has to be a decision of the soul and its higher self, even
Good.
on the astral realms. So even if consciously a person is saying that I want to revoke these irrevocable contracts, it will not work because the soul has to agree, the higher soul has to agree, and the required
Yeah.
changes should be made in the soul plan for us to actually bring about that result. So he's saying, Mom, it's not that simple, and there are a lot many factors involved. And trust me, Mom, even if it's not on the astral realm, you don't know what blocks they have in their subconscious.
True.
Subconsciously also they block a lot, they hold a lot of blocks and fears, and they just don't want to let go of whatever thing they are suffering from. So he's saying there's lots, and we do our best, we give our best, but we don't force or pressure too much, because ultimately it's about the learning of the soul. It's about the soul learning, going through it, and coming out on the other side in the way it actually planned.
Right. Well, so
So
what
he's
about,
saying what.
say somebody has a relationship with somebody that they were betrayed and now you have to forgive them. Is you can work with energy workers to to be regressed and sort of figure out the other lives that were involved that created that string of betrayals and sort of work on your do inner child work, all that stuff, right? To honor that contract or not.
Yes, Mom, definitely it's worthwhile. Like any help which is available is
Yeah.
worthwhile,
Okay.
because let's accept betrayal. The lesson is forgiveness, and forgiveness just does not come up with your efforts. It is a very inbuilt thing. It comes from within, and we really don't
Right.
have any control over it. So you definitely need energy workers. You need help from outside who will,
Yeah.
which will ultimately make you realize that this has to be let go, and you actually feel that forgiveness within you. But you
You can't say,
definitely.
okay, well, I want to revoke this contract. So, yes, I forgive this person. You can't do that. That's what you were alluding to earlier, Eric. But if you really do the work, the inner work, and the regression work and all that stuff, then you can have contracts revoked once they're
Saying
fully.
yes, Mom. And Mom, that's the thing which will help the soul most, because it's coming from the soul itself. It's getting assimilated in the consciousness of the soul itself, and that's when that lesson the soul will carry. Mom, it's very interesting. He's saying, Mom, it's very interesting. Let me tell you this one thing. So you might, when you're alive, you might feel I have forgiven this person. You might feel it
Yeah.
from the depth of your consciousness that you have forgiven this person. Sorry. He's saying, but trust me, Mom, when the soul separates from the body at the time of the death, trust me, if the forgiveness was not complete and was not felt by the soul completely, the lesson will not be carried by the soul forward. It will just remain with the body consciousness. He's
I
saying that
gotcha.
happens sometimes.
Right.
So when it is coming from within the depths of the soul, that is only when the soul will actually benefit, and the soul has actually learned the lesson, assimilated the lesson.
Okay.
So you
Got
say
it. Stimulating the lesson, not just on an intellectual level, but on a spirit, a soul level.
soul
Got
level, yeah.
it. Okay.
He's
Interesting.
saying that's why I have, like, he's seen that so many people, they think that they have mastered a specific lesson, they have achieved particular quality that they were meant to learn, but it's only on the conscious level. There are so many things which can come back and test you and prove it to you that actually the lesson was not learned completely at all levels.
Right.
So he's saying, I know I'm sounding it to be difficult, but it is not. And I'm going to explain how to make sure to master a lesson also. On that note, he's saying, Mom, amazing questions. He's saying, Mom, and I love to give all this information and to break their belief systems for them to start thinking more and start, experimenting more with their path, with their lessons. He's saying the belief systems sometimes are so strong that they actually become an obstacle in learning
Yes.
certain lessons.
Yes.
And so many times we feel we have learned and mastered a lesson, but when a situation arises, we really don't follow up on that lesson because it's not
Right.
learned completely.
Okay.
So you say that's all about karma, Mom. That's all about situational soul plan and the karmic soul plan. And the karma is the spiritual contract which was agreed between both the souls. So he's saying if it's a karmic soul plan, you will be only respecting and honoring the spiritual contracts in different relationships, teaching and learning from those relationships, and the situations will be comfortable, and the situations will in fact help you. But one more thing, Mom, he's wanting to add before closing today's lecture is that when I say it's a karmic soul plan, please understand it does not mean that you will have no lessons related to situations, because
Oh yeah.
life is a combination of both, and if you are choosing a difficult relationship, it might lead to a difficult situation also. Like if I'm choosing to go through divorce, it is very much possible that I might have certain financial complications, or I might go into depression, and that
Right.
might lead to some health issues. So you see, when I say karmic soul plan, don't stick to it. It's just a combination. And when I say it's karmic, the percentage of the lessons that you will learn from relationships will be more than the situations. And the
Ah,
situations will be there, the lessons will be there, but they will be easier ones, which will not trouble you so much. It's a very good mix, he's saying on.
yeah.
So
Well, karmic situations. That's almost. Isn't it always rooted in relationships in one way, shape, or form?
yes, it's because see, mom, karma
They
means
don't.
help.
Situations don't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah,
So there are always people involved. Okay.
there are
Okay.
people involved, but I'm going to teach the difference, how to understand the difference, whether it's only a situation or whether it's karmic. He's saying there is certain confusion in this, but I'm going to teach how to bifurcate both of them. But karma is purely with souls, because karma is help given and receipt, and situations can't help. You can't help situations might help you to learn. So there is
Right.
no karma situations. Karma and the spiritual context will always be with relationships with other souls.
Okay. Okay.
So he's saying the third purpose of this lifetime is also connected to that. But for today's lecture, I want them to chew on this, to understand this, and I really want them to write down whether it was a difficult situation or whether it was a difficult relationship. What is it that their soul was trying to teach them? He's saying, because I'm going to go in depth with all of these major lessons, whether these lessons are coming out of major situations or major relationships. He's going to go into depth. But before that, he wants them to sit and reflect on their life and come up with their major lessons, and then maybe match with what Eric is saying, because it's very good to reflect on our life, on our path ourselves, and then maybe have confirmations that gives you more confidence in your own intellectual
Yeah.
capacity also. He's
Yeah.
saying that I want them to do it because I'm going to dive deeper into lessons individually. And he's saying, when I say major karma, note and here it's major relationship which gave you a lot of issues. When I say major situation, a situation which gave you a lot of suffering. He's saying it's very easy to understand. So
Sure.
till date, whatever major situation you faced, write down a list of lessons you should have learned or you ended up learning. And similarly with the relationships, the major karmic relationships which came into your life. So he's saying, when I say major karmic relationships, there's one more hint. The relationships which made you feel at your extreme, like which made you feel extreme emotions, be it good or bad, but extreme
Oh yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
You choose you choose to experience extreme emotions only when the lessons are major, because how will you learn if you don't feel so
Yeah.
extremely? So he's
Right.
saying
Right.
that's
Like
one
the
more
lesson
hint.
of loss. You feel grief. Lesson of I mean
You feel
betrayal, forgiveness. There's very often anger and resentment. So yeah, exactly. How many
or
major lessons are there? I mean, the most common and really major
he's
lesson.
saying there are many, mom. There are many, but there are few which are top of uh, my mind. He's saying, because
Right.
those lessons have been. So he's going to list them out. He's saying most important ones are not being non-judgmental, and
Oh.
one is being detachment, because
Oh.
that's the very nature of your soul, oneness. So you have to be non-judgmental. And the second, he's saying detachment. Third, he's saying forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's very important because we are here on a journey helping each other. There's no good or bad. So
Right.
there are major ones which really help you as a soul to grow faster, and these are few of them. But I'm going to sort of teach these lessons in connection, in coordination with the situations or the relationships, and how they teach you. So that will give a more understanding of those lessons and the extreme emotions they inspire within us. And he's saying, mom, if we don't feel extremely, how will we learn these major lessons? So the two two more major aspects of karmic relationship right now he's saying is how much time you choose to spend in that relationship and how much emotion those relationships evoked within you. That
Right.
will determine the amount of karma. And if it's major karma, then of course the lessons are bigger lessons. And he's saying, Mom, by bigger lessons, I mean the lessons your soul chose, which will help your soul to grow the most in a particular
Yeah.
lifetime.
Right. Right. Okay. Let me ask you this. I'm trying to cure someone's cancer. It's a somebody that is not a client of Atlantic Scalar, and there's an obstacle, and I think that one of that person's family members has a contract that has not been fully honored. So that person has to suffer at the behest of that other person's cancer. Is that true? What I've gotten with the dowsing rods in the scalar field?
Yes,
Uh,
mom, but that he's saying yes, mom, but that's just one aspect of it. It's not the entire story. He's saying
okay.
no, cancer is rooted in emotions.
Right.
So the person suffering from cancer also needs to heal those unresolved emotions and everything.
Right. Right.
What you got is correct, mom, but that's just one part of it, and that will not have complete bearing on the healing of this person who is actually undergoing. What will majorly affect the healing of this person is how that person is healing and resolving his own emotional issues within him.
Which is basically a contract
Yeah, yeah.
that has to do with self forgiveness.
So he's saying, Mom, so when you work on these people, what you're doing is you're helping their soul to learn these lessons and to fulfill these contracts also. And that in turn makes possible the healing whichever you will be doing next. So
Okay.
when you're working energy, it's not only about healing, you're also preparing their souls to sort of learn these lessons or helping these souls to learn these lessons, fulfill these contracts so that the healing can take place. So it's
Right.
working on many levels
Yeah.
because the soul he approaches the soul of the person you're working on, he's saying.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oh, wow. Anything else you want to say, Eric, before we close and get back to the she shed and start working?
Yes, mom, I'm ready. He's saying I'm so excited about these lecture series, and I'm going to visit all of those who will be joining in for the new meditation, and then it'll be the guided meditation. I'm so stoked because I know many will be able to get through to me through this
That's
guided meditation.
so awesome. So, Renuka, if people ask you, what are my main spiritual
Major
contracts? Is that something you can help them with? That you can channel their higher self or whoever or their guides?
No, basically, what I do is Eric goes into the Akashic records and he just gets that reading. I call it an Akashic reading, and he just gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, I have been doing it. Yeah, like
Oh,
he will.
great,
These are
great.
your major lessons. These, if this is the major spiritual contract which is troubling you, this is what you wanted to learn. So better learn. So he is revealing all of these things, but
I'm
it's
gonna go
purely
to your site. I'm gonna order that for me. I need that. All right. Akashic reading. All right. All right. Thank you, Renuka from channelingspiritworld.com, right? Any closing remarks?
yes.
That's it?
I'm available. I want them to get back to me if they have any issues with the meditation, but I
Okay.
really want most of them to just do it and believe that Eric is going to come because this is what I have followed and this is what helped me develop my connect with him. So he's teaching all of those things which he taught me, and here I am.
Yeah, so you have the experience too. So you'll make a wonderful teacher for this. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Renuka. Love you and love you, Eric.